And today we're going to be discussing some hot topics around marriage and relationships.
So the hot topic around relationships this week is, do you believe in no sex before marriage?
Interesting subject.
Very big subjects and very current, I may add. So do I believe in sex before marriage? I think that sex after marriage has a place. And personally, I feel it's a little bit more valued than before. Marriage isn't just a case of just jumping in the bed and let's do the act. There's so much more that's involved in it. And I believe that by taking away its special ability and that gift before you kind of commit for a long-term relationship could sometimes put some ruin on that.
Yeah, so I don't believe in sex before marriage, and that's not to condemn anybody that has had sex before marriage, because at the end of the day, as long as you are at an appropriate age, then you can make that choice for yourself. But I do think there are a lot of benefits, like Jermaine said, in waiting. It does teach you patience, and it allows you to appreciate your partner for who they are. And we do actually live in a disposable society where sex isn't one of those things that you can just keep trying until you get it, until you think you get it right. I think you need to understand that person and understand a lot about yourself, actually. So I think there are a lot of benefits in waiting.
So what would you say to people who say you've got to try before you buy?
You can go with this one, Sam?
Okay. Try before you buy. It sounds like something that you're going to buy from the shop.
Yeah.
It's not. I see sex as it's sex in marriage is, and we believe it's God's design for marriage, and so I don't think you have to try before you buy, because I think there's a lot that you can work through.
So what do I think about try before you buy? I think try before you buy is suitable and really good if you're going to a supermarket or if you're going to a fast food restaurant, because obviously if you try something you like it, then obviously you're going to commit. But what if you try it and you don't like it? What do you do then? And I think if we're going to put that same context into relationships and sex, then what if the person who you're sleeping with has all the right attributes and values that you want in a relationship, but they're not great in the sack? Is that a reason then to walk away from the relationship, or is that something to work on? So try before you buy. I understand why we would try before you want to buy today, because everything's sexualized, from adverts to cereal to music. So it's current and all over the place around pushing that pressure on sex. But like Sam said earlier, there's a beauty in waiting and there's a beauty in having patience in a relationship. Sex is something you work on, a bit like going to the gym. No one's the finished article straight away. It's something that you improve over time and things that you work on and commit to. So I would try and say hold up if you can from trying before you buy, because it might work out for some, but for others, you could be walking away from such a great blessing.
Not everybody's
intention is to try before they buy. Yeah.
Not everybody's intention is to get married, so for a lot of people that question might not be relevant, because you're not looking to get married. You just want to be in a relationship, but being married, I think, in itself, for ourselves, it's God's design for relationships, for reproduction.
So if you're deciding not to have sex before marriage, what is acceptable sexually or physically before marriage?
So what's acceptable before marriage if you're deciding to get married? Depends how you look at that question. Some people would see anything intimate, from holding hands to looking at each other, is considered sexual. I could look at my partner, my wife, in a sexual way. That might be seen bad. I could hold her hand and that could be seen as bad. I think there's no right answer on this question in terms of what is considered sexual. Unless you go the full act, then obviously you've completely gone sexual. I would say that it's something that you both discuss. Holding hands, I personally don't see as an issue. What's controversial is I don't see a good little kiss on the cheek a problem either. Yeah.
I think as long as you're not overstepping boundaries, you have to remember what's comfortable, or do what's right and acceptable for both of you.
Totally.
And what's comfortable.
That's if you're looking to get married. If you're not looking to get married, then what's acceptable? Headlocking isn't seen as acceptable. It's quite dangerous. But kissing, I think, like I said before, sex is a conversation. It's what's appropriate for each other. It's what's happy for each other. And it opens up a great dialogue of history around sex. How do you know that person hasn't been through any abusement or any issues that has made them not want to go through certain things around sex? But that's something that we're going to bring in one of our top tips. Like that little drop there, guys.
So, give us some key actions of how you can remain pure before marriage.
Just turn up and get married. No, okay. So that's a very interesting question, though, Sam. How can you remain pure before marriage? And purity isn't just the physical aspect, but it's also the mind aspect too.
Yes.
I would say that accountability is very important, particularly today. Like I've said before, everything is very sexualized, and so if it's one of your for men anyway, it's sometimes one of our main needs and wants. So it can be quite easy for us to get caught up and miscommunicate in those conversations with the ladies, basically, or your partner to be. So I would say that one of the things that I would encourage is accountability. It doesn't have to be some counsellor or mentor, but it could just be a friend that you can confide in to say, listen, these are some of the feelings I'm having, some of the thoughts I'm having, and I'm trying to keep pure. And hopefully it's someone that can support you through it and be honest and open and give you some really good advice, really. That would be one. Sorry?
No, that's right. I agree. I agree with you. I think accountability is definitely one of the ways that you can stay. I don't know if pure is the right word, but one of the ways that you can actually, get that help and support before you actually get married. Because there might be a lot of things to do with your history, your background, that you might not necessarily feel comfortable or confident enough to speak to your partner about.
Yeah.
But you might be okay speaking to somebody else about it when you get married. But I think it's important to air those issues anyway and have an outlet before you get married.
Yeah.
Do you feel that people feel pressure to have sex before marriage?
Pressured. I think pressure is all around us.
Yeah.
The pressure is all around us. A lot of celebrities are very sexualized, especially the women. So it's only not right, but it's only natural, I guess, that guys are going to look at women as objects, sexual objects. So I think, yes.
I think, sorry, go on. Okay. I think when it comes to sex, from a guy's perspective, you're absolutely right, and we said it before, is sex is everywhere. It's encouraged. It's probably one of the main things for men to be encouraged to do. And so there's a massive pressure. I think even there's not many men that can go to their friends at a particular age and still express that I'm a virgin. You kind of looked at like there's an issue there that maybe you should go and consult your doctor. Like you're a virgin at that age. Like the 40-year-old virgin was quite successful, pure on the fact that at the end he had sex. Had the ending been that he didn't have sex, probably wouldn't make it so well in the media or on movies really. So there's a huge pressure on sex. I don't know about yourself, but particularly for men, it's kind of increases or kind of gives authority on your masculinity. If you've had sex, hey, you haven't had sex? Okay, brother, we can help you out. Go and see a doctor. I'm not saying that's what you should do though. But yeah, I think there's a massive pressure on having sex. And to be honest with you, there shouldn't be. We are in a sex world, and I think it's more of a millennial thing where it's pushed in through music, it's pushed through TV, films. I mean, I don't think you can watch a film nowadays with any sexual reference, even in cartoons. So we're very much pressured in being sexualized, really. But you got to watch yourself and look at yourself and take that pressure off.
Do you feel with celebrities like Sierra and NFL quarterback Russell Wilson coming out and saying that they wouldn't have sex before marriage has made it easier for the younger generation to be able to follow that path?
Hopefully it would make it easier because they're role models for a lot of people. They're in the public eye a lot, aren't they? So hopefully it will bring some acceptance to the whole subject of sex before marriage or waiting before you get married.
Definitely, I think it definitely gives a voice around sex before marriage when those in the celebrity light do open up and say things like that. I know Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon also said that before they got married, that they weren't sexual until they get married. And it's a tradition that a lot of people still hold value to. So I think anyone that's prepared to open up and talk about it, I think it makes it great to look at. Yeah, so Meghan Markle and the other, what's his name again?
Megan Good.
Megan Good. No, Meghan Markle. The prince and the princess.
Harry.
Yes.
Harry.
Yeah, just want to know. Hey, be good if you guys could say that too. We can edit this.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were speaking about Megan.
No, not Meghan Markle. Megan Good, sorry. Yeah.
So guys, thank you for tuning in and listening to us and our opinions around marriage and relationships. You can get us on social media, Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. And it's #Abravah. If you want to leave your comments, we're happy to read them.
Definitely. So guys, thanks again. Take care.